hell happened to my main page? Where'd it go? Oh no, it got moved up. There we go. Hi, I'm here. I really am. Somehow I've got my main page moved into the wrong spot on my software here. So I fixed it and now I know where I'm at. Hello, welcome to the show. I'm here and it's 420. And as you probably could guess, I am not high because I don't partake in that. But I thought it was a good day. It'd be a good day to give some pot news. And today I would ask that if you're going to do donations, if you want to sponsor the show, today I'm asking you to stick with the theme of the show and make your donations 420 if you are able. Because that, I want to see Snoop Dogg dancing on the set all morning. Not that I, not in a weird way, just that's the alert. So today, as you can look at the chat, it's 420 day. All chats. Ideally, if we could do $4.20 chat things, I might be able to buy the new thing for the here that I was going to buy. Anyway, so 420 today. That's what we're going for. Also, there is a lot of other news, and I don't know if I can take it anymore. All this craziness where I live, and I'm a little nervous. One, because Lady Boomer works in the heart of Minneapolis. Now, she's not anywhere near the county courthouse. She doesn't work near where our George Floyd was unfortunately ended. But you know what? Right now, it can pop off anywhere in the city, as we discovered the other day. Well, hey, there we go. Perfect. It's 420 day. Thank you, Tarai Deos. And happy Snoop Dogg 420 day. Oh, you could have left a message though, but that's okay with no message. I'll even take it with no message. Yes, it is 420 day. I didn't. You know what I didn't do? Oh, hang on a second. Let me see if I can fix something real quick. Well, here, I'll play the intro and we'll come back and we'll do some 420 news, some marijuana news, because there is some marijuana news that's interesting and that I didn't even realize there was, dedicated sites to just strictly marijuana news. So there you go. Thank you very much to Rydeos. I appreciate you very much. And on that note, how about we play the intro? Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Okay, wait, before I didn't give also to Rydeos.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
I forgot to give you one of those. Yes, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day until my favorite Canadian made a funny with the 421. So, Jaeger Pony.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Anyway, so it's 420. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Dawg Knight. Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is 420/21. A wonderful Tuesday, and I hope you're all having a good morning. I certainly am, although I am not partaking in the devil's lettuce because many of you have been around for my THC story, the accidental ODing on THC, I would call it, although I didn't get sick or anything, but I certainly was out of action for a good 12 to 14 hours when I accidentally got into the wrong bag of Sour Patch Kids that was being used to stash somebody's gummies. Yeah, we're not going to go there. But anyway, that was kind of a rough day, and I've never been. Look, for me, I've never really enjoyed the weed, the devil's lettuce, the ganj, the what other names you come up for it. In fact, let's do this. Let's see how many names we can come up for marijuana in the chat. Just name all the names, like Mary Jane. Some people used to call it dope. Well, smoking dope. I suppose you come up with that. I'm sure there's some creative names that you all have thought of that I haven't. But so today we're gonna do a little weed news, and then we'll do a little catch up on some of the headlines. Although there's so much going on, I can't even keep up with it. And I literally could do a 10-hour show and not run out of stuff. So it's just crazy. Anyway, thank you again, Jaeger Pony. Thank you again, Terai Deos. It's 420 Day. 420 donations sponsored the show today. Thank you very much. Let's say hi to everyone who's here, though. First in the chat today was our friend Maddie, who gets the bell. And a horn for Ronan, because I know Ronan's here, too. Also, good morning, Becca Fairley. Both of you and Maddie, who always tweet out the show. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Also, good morning to... Oh, I gotta click little likey there. I like you, both your tweeties there. Also, thanks Will at Forge and Tyler F for already tweeting out the show. Share the show. That's the number one thing you can do to help me. Donations are great, but sharing is even better. I gotta spread the word. One of these days this channel will grow. I've been stagnant lately, so we gotta work on that. Anyway, also good morning, Ryan Walters. Nice to see you here bright and early. Good morning, Patrice Ripley, the official Dawg Knight. K-pop aficionado. Also, good morning, Advocatus Diablo, the Devil's Advocate. Good morning, Jesse Leon. Good morning, Willett Forge, who did get an alert today. Awesome. Good morning also to Ronan. How you doing? I already said hi, but I'll say it again. Good morning, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning, Justin Anderson. Good morning, Mr. Yes. Good morning. Good morning to Ideos, Jonathan Peterson, Atheist Icon, Asta Sand, FTW Nil, Sapphire Dragon, Tyler F. What's happening? Good morning, Jonas Pedersen. Good morning, People's Front of Canada. Good morning also to Jedi Ghost Bear, Attack Alpaca, Moon-Based Radio, James PFP, Mike Savage, Blarg. And that's everybody. Is Thomas Claver here yet? No, not yet. Okay, well, that's good. And thank you, Zablé, also for tweeting out the show. Greatly appreciated. All right. So, catnip for monkeys. Hi, Gray. Okay. Oh, names for, we're doing the nicknames for pot in the chat. So, oh my gosh, you've been busy. All right. So, let's see. What do we got so far here? Sensimilla. Isn't that a variety? I thought that was a variety of marijuana. I'm not a aficionado, but I know a few things. I think Sensimilla is a variety. Ganja, Kush, Pot, the Devil's Johnson, Purple Skunk. Let's see, Giggle Sticks. That's a funny one. Herb, Jazz Tobacco, Wacky Backy, Lactasis Diable, the Jib, Jesus Juice, Chocolate, the Spliff, Laser Lettuce, Hydro, Indo, Outdo. Wait, what? I've never heard of those. Let's see. Mota, is that one too? Mota, red hair. And my own favorite is the Devil's Lettuce. All right, you had more than that. Renames. There's a whole. Oh no, I went all the way back up to the top. I found it out. All right. Oh, it's cultivation, not a variety. Oh, well, thank you. I maybe there's a few experts in the chat who can certainly contribute to this show today, and I'm gonna giggle like I pretend that I'm what do you call it? I'll just pretend I'm high. I do have the Resist Fascism cup. Now I have an announcement regarding the merch store. Thank you, Scrappy Pirate, who designed a new item for the merch store, and I'm going to show it to you in here in just a second, so I can find the link. We have a new item. Well, a new design, not necessarily new item, but we now have. Okay, open. Is there a way to do this? Anyway, we now have the More Resist Fauci items, but a new design. Let me show you that real quick here. Let me see if I can... Why is that way down there? I want this to be up here. That's not working. Hang on. Good Lord. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you can see it there. The new Resist Fascism design is right... Well, here, let's go to... I know what we'll do. Let's just go to my merch store. That'll be easier because you'll be able to see it. Good God, Marty, what are you doing? Okay, I clicked go to the store. Go to the damn store. There we go. God. All right, so if you've been to my merch store, you've seen the old design, which is popping up right here, the Resist Fascism shirts. And we have the one Resist Fascism hat, which you've seen before, but we have a new design. And we'll just show you one up close and personal. There you go, the Resist Che Faucium with the little Che design, with the picture of Dr. Fauci. Now, my only concern was this, because I remember when they were making the big deal about Sarah Palin making a map of target people if they wanted to beat in elections, and they said, oh, she was putting people in crosshairs and putting them in danger. And I was kind of worried, oh, does that X make it look like crosshairs? But, you know, crosshairs are up and down and sideways, so no, it's not. But anyway, so that is the new Resist Fascism line on the PDawgKnight.live website. Oh, won't go. Why does it want to go back? Oh, there we go. And so you got... I got a couple different shirts. I got the either gray or white shirt. I have some pastel color shirts, a sweatshirt, and a 15-ounce coffee mug, which now you can see it on the screen. So there you go. And I just ordered my mug yesterday after we put it up on the old thing there. So anyway, that's the new stuff. If you are interested, go buy some Resist Fauci stuff. And I'm coming up with new designs. I'm going to start kind of pushing merch again, make that the way to sponsor the show, and hopefully you can get something cool. It's a little pricey, but it's fun, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And so there you go. All right, let's get into a little weed news, okay? Weed news. Now let's talk about this 420 thing, because you may not even know the origins of 420. So here's just a little brief history. It says a little brief history on how to celebrate from Newsweek magazine. Now, I got to keep the sound off of this because I'm sure it will cause a music strike or whatever they do when they do music strike. Is this on YouTube? Oh, no, it's not. Anyway, so here's some of the origins of 420, why we celebrate 420. So 420 has become synonymous with marijuana culture. Now, where did the term originate? Well, 5 friends from California say they coined the term during their high school days in the 70s in San Rafael, California, when they called themselves the Waldos. Interesting. It began with a search for a mystery patch of weed and a map. The Waldos would meet at 420 each day to begin their search, as in right after school. 420 became their code for marijuana. The term slowly spread to the Grateful Dead scene of the 70s. And by the mid-90s, marijuana activists were staging events on 420. I thought it was pretty funny. What started out as a funny little joke, a secret code, turned into a worldwide phenomenon, Waldo David Reddick says. So that is the history of 420. And now I'm getting a bunch of other crap on here that I don't want. So there you go. Also, let's see. So now let's talk. There is some marijuana news today, actually, which is I just every 420 I look this up to see what's going on. Hello, Katie did skate. Okay, so marijuana news today. Uh-oh, I got to change this here. Hang on. It's got to fit on the screen. This is from MSN News from the Microsoft Network. With marijuana legal in New York and other states close behind, will Massachusetts dispensaries along the state border survive. So there used to be, and I know this is true in Colorado too. It's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like gambling used to be in Vegas, where people would, go, everyone had to go to Vegas to gamble, right? And then casinos started popping up in other parts of the country, but they weren't in every state. So when a couple of the casinos opened here in the Twin Cities, a lot of people would pop over from Wisconsin or they pop over from South Dakota. Well, it's the same with dispensaries. Massachusetts has a whole bunch of dispensaries because it's legal there. And so a lot of people from New York drive to Massachusetts to buy their weed. Well, New York is about to, or has made marijuana legal, and I guess some surrounding states are also looking at doing that. So now, when Massachusetts voters passed Question 4 in 2016, the state became an oasis of legal marijuana on the East Coast, surrounded by neighbors that prohibited the drug entirely or only allowed its medical use. Today, total pot sales are approaching 1.5 billion with a B. But with New York legalizing cannabis late last month, the first recreational shops now ringing up customers in Maine, Vermont recently authorizing commercial sales, and Rhode Island and Connecticut lawmakers poised to establish regulated marijuana markets in their states, our early mover advantage is simply evaporating. That would be in Massachusetts. That could mean trouble for many of the 130 recreational marijuana stores operating in Massachusetts, other than clusters of shops around the population centers of Boston and Worcester. Nearly all other cannabis retailers are located on highways within quick striking distance of the state borders. You know what there's another industry that's like this. Fireworks. So when I was growing up in Omaha, fireworks were, except for the really very non-powerful fireworks, they're pretty much illegal in Omaha, and they were definitely illegal in Iowa, right? But they were legal in Missouri. So if you went to Omaha, you drove over to Council Bluffs, then went south on I-29, about 30, 35 minutes, the Missouri border is there. Well, 30, 40 minutes roughly. So along the first 3 exits along the Missouri border, as you're driving into Missouri towards Kansas City, just every giant fireworks superstores and all this stuff, because everyone would drive to Missouri from Omaha, from Iowa, from Kansas. The border fireworks stores were just nuts, right? And that's similar to here too. Like everyone in Minnesota either drives to Wisconsin or South Dakota, where fireworks are legal. You can buy, the big stuff. You can buy the big stuff. So when we're out, I'm gonna say this quietly. When we were out at the lake last year, I think Lady Boomer and I bought about $600-700 worth of fireworks, and someone else came with about $600-700. I mean, our fireworks show looked like a professional show because we bought all this shit in Wisconsin, Anyway, but it's funny because we're out at the lakes, and a lot of people went. The place where we were was near South Dakota, so a lot of people up there at those lakes bought fireworks in South Dakota. So it was like the whole lake, every place around the lake was like a professional fireworks show. It was really kind of cool. Anyway, so this is the same phenomenon with marijuana, I guess. Now, while regulators don't track where marijuana buyers live, several operators said the majority of their revenue comes from out-of-staters on pot pilgrimages, not base-staters. That's kind of like Colorado. My wife's friends like to go to Colorado quite a bit. They'd love going to Colorado. Good morning, Scrappy Pirate. Good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. Good morning. I said Katie Skate. Good morning, John Smith. And good morning, Fight for Your Rights. By the way, it's 420, and we are trying to, if you're doing donations today, if you want to sponsor the show, drop 420 in the tip jar. And we'll have Dancing Snoop up on the screen quite a bit today, I hope. All right, so anyway, Meanwhile, competition within the state is also set to increase, with more than 160 additional stores currently moving through the Cannabis Control Commission's licensing pipeline. Still, marijuana operators aren't panicking. In part, that's because they expect the rollout of recreational sales in neighboring states to be at least as painfully slow as it was in Massachusetts. New York isn't ready for this at all. Oh, imagine something not going right with things in New York. Said Brandon Pollock, chief executive of Western Massachusetts-based marijuana operator Theory Wellness. I love the fact that they call these stores dispensaries. It sounds so like medical, you know? And this guy place called Theory Wellness. It's a wellness shop, right? You're buying products for your well-being and to calm you and all things like that. So anyway, so that's kind of, I'm not gonna read the rest of this article, but you get the idea that with more states legalizing marijuana, some of these states that seem to have had a monopoly on it, it's going to be interesting to see how much it affects their sales. Now, let me tell you something. The fact that they have so many of these casinos in all these other states, you'd think it would have hurt Vegas really bad. Nah, Vegas is doing just fine. I think the coup hurt Vegas much more, but the fact that Vegas is still Vegas and still a huge, huge entertainment center, it's going to take a long time for other places like that to catch up. I know the casinos in I want to say Mississippi, they have some pretty nice casinos down in Mississippi, but it's still not Vegas. We have a couple of nice casinos here in the Twin Cities, or not the Twin Cities, but the metro or the state of Minnesota, I should say. But it's still not like going to Vegas. You know what I mean? Vegas is an all-out experience that is hard to match. Anyway, all right, let's move on. More 420 news. It's the 420 show. By the way, if I don't get to like real news today, I might do a short stream this afternoon and get caught up. But we'll see. I'm gonna have some fun with the 420 day. All right, Snopes. I hate Snopes. I think Snopes is complete and utter garbage as far as a fact-checking site. They are, especially as fact-checking that has anything to do with politics. However, they did have a article on weed, fact-checking weed rumors. And it's published today on 420, and I thought, okay, what kind of weed rumors shall we fact-check today? They say there's a lot of marijuana misinformation out there. We'll puff and pass the truth. Oh, and that's special. She told a joke. She got jokes. By the way, I'm not high. I don't like the high that marijuana gives you. If I want to, here's the thing. My couple experiences with marijuana when I was young, when I was experimenting, and friends would like, oh yeah, here you go. So maybe twice, I think, maybe 3 times in my whole life have I ever purposefully ingested a THC, whatever that puts THC in your body. And for me, I might as if I just stood up and very, very, very slowly, while I'm standing in a stationary position, slowly just move my feet to turn myself into a circle. And if I just turn into a circle and I just circle, this is what marijuana does to me. All it is, it's like me standing still, turning in a circle, and it's the same effect. So if I really want to feel like I'm high, all I have to do is slowly turn in a circle for like an hour, and that's the same feeling for me. And I didn't like it. It's like being dizzy for 2 hours or for however long. I gotta get this cord out of. I got this cord all messed up now. Hang on. So if I really, like I said, if I wanted to be high, I just turn in a circle. What the hell did I do here? Hang on. Welcome to Boomer Vision. There we go. All right. So anyway, it's that's what it's like being high for me. So I don't do it. I just don't. I don't enjoy it. I know a lot of people really, really enjoy it. It relaxes them, makes them feel better, makes pain go away. I don't have that much pain and I don't have that much patience to be high. I just don't. Anyway, let's talk about the marijuana misinformation. As legalized marijuana becomes more common across the United States, some old wives' tales and rumors have come along with it. We've encountered our fair share of claims over the years, from the origins of 420 to the supposed health benefits or side effects of weed's role throughout history. Team Snopes is here to cut fact from fiction. And if you use our work, remember that sharing is caring. Well, if you want to make a contribution to Snopes, I'll leave this here. Anyway, wait. Oh my God. Okay, I thought it was going to be a short list. This is, holy crap. They got all these articles. Okay, I thought I should have looked at this first. So this is how many, look how many, no, let's just count how many stories Snopes has done on weed. And it makes me think, perhaps somebody at Snopes has a particular interest in the devil's lettuce. Let me just tell you. Because look, the origins of 420 is Puff the Magic Dragon about marijuana. Is it possible to get high from secondhand marijuana smoke? Is newly introduced congressional marijuana bill actually numbered HR 420? I think I can guarantee that it's not. Oh, wait. Did they really? Hang on a second. Now I got to read this. The bill number may be a bit tongue-in-cheek, U.S. Representative Earl Blumenauer told local newspaper, but the issue is very serious. Oh, they did! The marijuana bill introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives during the 116th Congress is numbered HR 420. That's pretty funny. It's true. Okay, let's do this. Let's play a game. Because now this could actually be fun. It wasn't in my plans today, but it is the 420 show, so it's easy to get distracted, right? Let's go through this. Okay. Yes or no? Is Puff the Magic Dragon about marijuana? That's question number 1. Put a true or false in the chat, and then I will click the link. Okay, let's see it. Is Puff the Magic Dragon about marijuana? Claim Peter, Paul, and Mary's tune Puff the Magic Dragon is a coded song about marijuana. Rating false! That is false. The poem that formed the basis for the song Puff the Magic Dragon was written in 1959 by Leonard Lipton, a 19-year-old Cornell student. Lipton was inspired by Ogden Nash's rhyme about really truly dragon, and using the dragon as a central figure, he came up with a poem about the end of childhood innocence. Lipton passes the work along to a friend and fellow Cornell student and folk music enthusiast, Peter Yarrow, who put a melody to the words and wrote additional lyrics. So there you go. That is false. Next. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these in new tabs so it doesn't take so damn long. Is it possible to get high from marijuana smoke? Hello, Anna Lynn. Oh, a lot of you got that right. It is false. Yeah, everyone. I think that was a pretty common one. Number 3. Actually, I'll just number these. That way I'll know which ones you're answering. if I understand it right, cannabis, both CBD and THC, work as a catalyst for other painkillers, making them more effective. So if you want real pain relief, you need a combo. I don't know for sure, though. I think that is how it works. I'm pretty sure. All right, question number 2. Is it possible to get high from secondhand smoke? Answer is... Oh, did anyone answer yet? What's the... True or false? Okay, we'll say... Or just yes or no. Is it possible to get high from secondhand smoke? The claim is exposure to secondhand smoke will get you high and potentially show up in a drug test. Answer is... mostly true. It's possible to get high from secondhand smoke. It has to happen under specific set of circumstances. Little to no ventilation, for example. And in fact, I would guess that the secondhand smoke you're getting could just be from the smoke that's coming from the whatever you're smoking too. But anyway, a common stoner trope and well-worn excuse for those teenagers trying to hide their stoner status from their parents is that the secondhand high from marijuana smoke. It is not something taken lightly by scientists either, especially in light of a wave of marijuana legalization across the United States. Studies have investigated the effects of secondhand cannabis smoke on non-smokers for decades. While this work comes with notable limitations, the consensus is that it is, in fact, possible to get high from secondhand smoke, at least under certain extremely ventilated conditions. I will leave all of these open, by the way. Which I hadn't planned on, but now I'm going to. So we'll open Puff the Magic Dragon back up. All right, next question. Oh, what'd I do there? What the hell did I do? That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, there we go. Next question. Let's see. That's a dumb one. Here's an interesting one. Is marijuana legalization linked to increased violent crime? Now that's an interesting one. Let's see. The claim is, and tell me if this is true or false, there is a demonstrable link between marijuana legalization and an increase in violent crime. Now go ahead and tell me your answer, true or false. There's a demonstrable link between marijuana legalization and an increase in violent crime. I'm guessing that's bullshit. Because here's the thing. Stoners chill you out, or being high chills you out, right? So you're probably less likely to do something violent. It was my thought, because you could do something violent, but you'd probably just I'm just too lazy. I'm sorry. Rating false. On 27th of February 2017, the United States Attorney General Jeff Sessions' suggestion that there's a link between legalized marijuana and violence, and that his conversations with Nebraska Attorney General Douglas Peterson, a longtime legalization opponent, helped bring the issue to attention. Then they reported something to the Huffington Post. I'll leave that. All right, we'll do one more and we're going to move on because I got a whole bunch of stuff to get to. Last one. Let's see. Did Willie Nelson quit smoking weed? Nah. Has Philip Morris introduced Marlboro M cigarettes? All right, let's try that. Okay, is that true or false? It's already false. I already know. You can cheat by I didn't realize it was under here. It's right next to it. When you look at the headline, did the World Health Organization declare medical marijuana has no health risks? If you can see it on the screen, you're cheating. Last one. We'll do this one. Okay, here's the claim. The World Health Organization has declared that medical marijuana has no health risks. True or false? I'll give you 15 seconds. I know I'm delayed, so by the time you actually read this, you'll probably already be typing this. World Health Organization declared that medical marijuana has no health risks. Answer, mostly false. Now, what's true? The World Health Organization's Expert Committee on Drug Dependence announced they considered the non-psychoactive component of cannabis, or cannabidiol, cannabidiol, or CBD safe enough to justify not scheduling the chemical legally. However, what is false, the announcement says nothing about cannabis as a whole or about any other potential oils or products derived from cannabis that would contain the psychoactive ingredient THC, and the announcement carries no legal ramifications for the United States drug policy. So there we go. There's our little 420 quiz of the day. Congratulations. Anyone 4 for 4? Probably all of you, because they don't seem that tough. All right, let's move on. Couple interesting things. So now let's do a little marijuana Arizona news. Let's try this one. This one's strictly for Gamer Valine. What the hell did I do there? Let's go. I want the right screen here. Oh, there we go. Now, what the hell's going on here? Why is that moved there? Let's fix this before we put it on the screen, or fix it on the screen here. Let's see, and make that a little smaller. All right. So here's Arizona is preparing for its first 420. So I want to just show you a couple examples how local news treat 420. This is from 12 News in, I don't know, somewhere in Arizona. Here we go.
It is 420, the yearly
Woo,
celebration
it's
of pot.
420.
But this year, the holiday being held for the first time with marijuana being legal, both medically and recreationally in Arizona. Team 12's Jen Wall joins us live from a local dispensary. Jen, how's business been over there, and are they expecting a major boom today?
No, not at all.
Yeah, good morning to you, Ryan. So we've been talking with the flower shop this morning. They are getting ready for
The flower
420
shop
today, and they say they are expecting
Is that
lines
the name of-
actually.
is that the name of their
shop
dispensary?
opening at 7 o'clock this morning,
Woo.
and they've been selling recreational marijuana since January 22nd here
All right,
in Mesa.
then.
And looking at the financial numbers statewide, the Arizona Department of Revenue gave us the statewide taxable sales for the month of February.
Oh,
alone.
that's all?
Adult use marijuana retail sales totaled
Jeez.
more than $35.7
Compared to
million for
Massachusetts,
that
of
one
course,
month.
this is the first
now,
year.
as part of Prop 207, which voters approved back in November, tax money raised from those sales will go to things like community colleges, local law enforcement, and fire department.
Now, isn't that special? See, it'll be it's for the children. It's for education and community centers and the children. That's why they're selling pot. That's it. You know, I gotta tell you, they probably do make a good penny in taxes on this stuff, though. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Here's the thing, though, too, because I've been to 2 dispensaries, one in Las Vegas and one in Colorado. When Lady Boomer and I went out to Colorado, because there are people in our household who do enjoy. Never mind. Anyway, I was amazed at all the varieties. It was like going to a damn. It was like going to a liquor store, but with just pot. There's so many different varieties of pot and gummies and candies and, edibles, this, that. I was floored at how many products they have. But anyway.
And back out here live at the flower shop, joining me this morning is Greta Brandt. She's the president of the flower shop. Good morning to you, Greta. Thank you so much
She's
for
working.
being
Leave her
here.
alone.
So how have things been going since you guys started selling that recreational marijuana back in January?
I'm not really sure, but we see a lot of people. I don't know. All right, I'll let her answer.
It's been great. It's been busy, as you can imagine, the amount of interest in the dispensaries, adult use, as well as medical.
By the way, Lady Boomer has been talking about the day that Minnesota legalizes marijuana. She wants to open a dispensary, but she said that I would have to run it. Well, never mind. Anyway.
Very busy, about 3 times normal sales as it was in medical.
So what are you expecting today for 420? You know, you're in here early this morning getting ready, and doors open to the public at 7 a.m.
We are anticipating
Oh.
some lines, some longer lines, quite a bit of a crowd. We have blocked off
So, okay, this cracks me up. Okay, so on 420, they're expecting crowds in a line. Now, if I was planning on celebrating 420, someone who doesn't do this, but who would think about how you would plan for 420, wouldn't you buy all your weed before 420 so that you wouldn't have to wait in the line? But then again, these are pot smokers, so I can understand why they might wait until sometime late in the day at 420.
our parking lot to be able to accommodate the crowds and lines as well as socially distanced. We have DJs, some food trucks, some events, some raffles.
Oh, yeah, you got to have food
really
trucks outside the
kind
dispensary.
of celebrating the occasion as 420. This is.
I wonder if it's like a cigar shop where they have sample rooms. Now, I didn't see that in either in Las Vegas or in Colorado, because I don't know if it's legal to smoke inside the shop. But wouldn't that be something, like how cigar stores will have a back room where you could sip some nice whiskey and have a couple cigars, sample rooms and smoking rooms and stuff like that. That would be kind of something, wouldn't it? But at dispensaries, obviously you'd have to have food trucks outside and maybe a potato chip vendor and something like that. But anyway.
The first 420 for adult use and medical here in Arizona, so we are anticipating quite a big crowd.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, thank you, Greta. We appreciate you joining us live this morning. Coming up at 5:30, guys, we've talked with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Okay, all right. No, okay, moving on. Here's the next one. This is from, where's this one from? New York. Western New Yorkers legally celebrating 420 this year. Here we go. This is from WKBW-TV in Buffalo, New York.
It is 5:46 on your Tuesday morning. All new this morning. We're taking a look at how new legislation passed weeks ago in New York may have an impact today.
It's going to have an impact, period,
Oh,
right? But
special.
today, especially because it's April 20th, which to some in our community is considered to be an occasion to celebrate all things marijuana. 420. This is the first April 20th, where recreational use of marijuana is actually legal here
Why is he
in New
flying
York.
a firecracker?
The
Oh, that's a
legislation was
candle.
passed about 3 weeks ago, and one local shop is marking the occasion.
Wait.
7 Eyewitness.
Wait. So they passed the legislation 3 weeks ago, and one local shop's already up and running? Good for them. I bet they're probably going to do some bank today.
Taylor Epps joining us from Kenmore to explain. Taylor, good morning to you.
Ed and Katie, good morning. Well, now that marijuana is legal in New York State, cannabis lovers in Western New York say the timing could not have been more perfect, and excitement is at an all-time high, literally. Later today, there will be a celebration here at Bison Botanics, celebrating all things 420.
All right.
Just a day to celebrate and use cannabis. Freedom Day, essentially.
For years, cannabis lovers in Western New York have been waiting for the legalization of marijuana.
We were hopeful that it would happen, and finally, this was the year, so we're all very excited and just wanted to do something special to kind of celebrate.
All last weekend and through April 20th, Bison Botanics has been celebrating, hosting live music,
So you can tell they're
yoga
just new to
sessions,
the
and
thing because
more.
they just have
Smaller,
tables
social
up.
distance type events, but just kind of getting some people coming through, and then if they would
Why
like to
social distance? Marijuana will kill COVID, I'm sure. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'd probably get in trouble.
consume marijuana that they would bring themselves, they're able to do that.
Open
in
a
our
cannoli
smoking
shop.
area.
Yeah, there you
Founder
go.
Justin Schultz says Bison Botanics can't sell marijuana here just yet.
Oh,
They need a
what?
license. Right now, they only have hemp-based products.
They can only display it. Wait a minute. They can only display it. Shh. They can't sell it, but they can do. Hey, they have hemp products. What? Wait a minute. What's this stuff? Some cereal? that looks like some form of gummy formation there. Maybe they only have the CBD stuff and not the THC stuff. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Gummies to tinctures,
See,
and
CBD.
topical salves.
As well as CBD-infused lip balm and what they call high street hot sauce.
Oh, dude, could you imagine some THC enhanced lip balm? You'd be licking your lips all day. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
It's a license in the next year or so. The goal is to add marijuana products to the mix.
we should be able to grow and then also have a retail dispensary.
Which Schultz says would be good for his business
Well,
and
y'all
others.
still got to go to
It's gonna
Boston
paint a
or to
great,
Massachusetts.
Canvas for a ton of small businesses. I think it's going to be a huge economic impact, social impact, a lot of job creation.
The legalization of marijuana is also bringing more people
A lot of job creation and a lot of people losing their jobs. Just saying.
to his store and raising more questions.
What our intentions are, and there's a lot of people actually asking, now that marijuana is legal, where can they get it? And there really isn't an answer for that.
It's still complicated as things change.
Well, buy some
statewide.
botanicals
But
will
if
probably
you're going
be
to
able to get
celebrate,
some
Schultz
soon.
asks that you do it safely.
Don't smoke and drive. Have a designated driver just with alcohol. We want to make sure that we are all responsible and that as we introduce this adult use marijuana into the community, that everyone is okay with it, that it's in a positive manner.
Good for them. All right, I'm not going to read this Thursday. But, you know, okay, the thing is, people who smoke and drive versus people who drink and drive, people who smoke and drive, at least they're probably driving slower. At least that was my experience. Anyway. All right, and finally, Whoopi Goldberg plans a new opening a new cannabis venture. Oh, turn that music off. So Whoopi Goldberg is going to open, or the star entered a partnership with Maya Elizabeth on their Whoopi and Maya line in 2020 after 4 years. I'd never heard of that line, but anyway, now she's preparing to get back into the market with a product line named in honor of her family members. She sells weed. She's a weed entrepreneur. The View star is expected to share the details of the new venture in the inaugural issue of Black Cannabis magazine, of which she is the cover star. In the issue, she will reveal Emma and Clyde, her new cannabis product line launching soon in California. Emma and Clyde is named after Whoopi's mother and her brother and includes edibles and some other shit. Magazine will launch on April 20th. Today, officially known as National Weed Day. It is not, wait, did they say officially known as? Unofficially known as National Weed Day. It's an honor to grace the very first cover of Black Cannabis magazine. You gotta segregate everything, don't we? Anyway, or, well, never mind, I don't care. More power to them for being entrepreneurs and starting their own magazine. As a longtime cannabis advocate and entrepreneur, I am happy to support the launch of a new publication focused on starting conversations and covering issues that educate, entertain, and inspire people of color in the cannabis community. You just you can make some money, woman. That's what it is. There you go. That's the cannabis grift. But hey, if it sells and it creates new entrepreneurs, I'm all for it. I have no problem with it, even though I'm not interested in it. I'm really not. I just don't. All right, let's move on to something else here. What else we got? Oh, here's what I did. Those are the last two things about weed today on 420. By the way, 420 donations today are appreciated. If you're going to drop a couple bucks in the tip jar, make it $4.20. And we want to see Snoop dance across the screen a little bit more. If you are interested, I'm including a couple other tabs in the links. Now, if you're not here on the regular, every day when I do stories or pull up articles, all of the articles that I touch on, read, or even plan on reading, I set up in the description down below. There is going to be a link called One Tab, and you click that link, and all the stories, there'll be links to all the stories on one single page. So if you want to find any of the stories that I've been talking about, those will be here. Included in that page today will be a couple cannabis/marijuana websites that strictly marijuana news. One's called Cannabis Life Network, which is this one here, and some of the sample articles. How is Delic creating a legal psychedelic ecosystem? Recipes, your 420 guide to a 3-course cannabis feast. Reminiscing about 420 Vancouver, a flashback word game. Business owner attempts to overturn Quebec's cannabis accessory ban. Seems like a lot of Canadian focus here. And let's see, can terpenes, alcohol, and THC acid turn into cannabis esters, which I have no idea what they're asking. But anyway, so there's one. And then the second one I have a link to today is Marijuana Today Daily. And so this will have, if you go to their homepage, it'll give you several different days. And on each day, you can click the link and it'll give you headlines for that day. So, for example, Alabama medical marijuana legalization bill that already passed the Senate heads to the House floor. Idaho Republicans try to block any future marijuana legalization in Idaho. How'd it turn out? 69% of Americans now support legalization of marijuana, an all-time high, according to a Quinnipiac poll. And several articles here that if you want the daily marijuana news, that will be at Marijuana Today Daily. That link will be in the link page that I will update at the end of the show. All right. I'm going to take just a quick break here. And then we'll come back and we'll do some regular news. I'll be back in about 1 minute. Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it if you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. All right, and we're back. Welcome back to the show. Hope you're having a good day. Couple things that I found humorous. This was just, I got to show you this. It is probably not going to make everybody in my chat happy, but I thought it was hilarious, and so I'm going to show it to you. That was on the internets. Let's see, I'm going to make it so you can see it better. Yeah, that'll be better. All right, so as you can see, this is a bumper. And if you can't read that, it says, "You just got passed by a girl," on the bumper of a vehicle, it looks like. I can't really see the vehicle, but let's just see what happens as they play this video. You just got... I better just leave the music off there because it's whatever. There we go. You just got passed by a girl. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. You just got passed by a girl. Oh, my God. I feel so terrible for that. I was wondering why the airbags were all deployed. Okay, well, that's... I know everyone's not going to be happy with me for that one, but I just found it to be quite humorous. All right, let's talk about the nonsense going on in our state. These are not all going to be in order. But there's some stuff here. By the way, thanks Angel Tibbs. Thank you. I already said Zablé too. Thank y'all for tweeting out the show. I'm a little frustrated with some of the governing people in offices in my state of Minnesota. And yesterday, because, right now, the Derek Chauvin trial is going on. And look, if you're following that trial, and which I have been, I've been following a lot of it. And I've said this from the very, very beginning, that the 2 charges of felony murder are probably not going to work. It's really, hello Thomas Cleaver, how you doing? It's really, 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 really hard to say that Derek Chauvin had committed a felony assault on George Floyd. And those are absolute, talk about reasonable doubt. The fact that he's in the process of doing his job, and again, it doesn't mean that he has to be good at his job. It just means he's in the process of doing his job in a way that he was trained. Even if you do a job poorly trained, it's not a criminal thing, right? It's not the felony assault is something you intend to do outside of the scope of what you're supposed to be doing. And there's no way I don't know how you can say that the prosecutors proved that. And I always said that he's probably liable from a manslaughter standpoint for not reacting to this scene underneath him. And now granted, he was distracted by a crowd. But anyway, And so you saw, if you saw me yesterday afternoon, go check out that stream from yesterday afternoon. It was kind of impromptu because I was talking about the fact that that the officer, Sicknick, they found out he died from stroke. And then I also talked a little bit about Maxine Waters and what she said the other day. And now we've got the Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flannan, talking about Daunte Wright. And I'm just getting so tired of this idea that black men are being hunted down, or black men are at an extra risk just for being black. It is, first of all, again, these cases are so rare because if they weren't rare, you wouldn't be able to keep up with the names. And it's pretty easy to keep up with the names because people try to keep them in your sight, but you don't hear names of anyone else. So here's my lieutenant. Anyway, I'll explain what I'm getting to here. Here's my lieutenant governor in the state of Minnesota who says, "This week I have felt my role as a mother so deeply. I've had heartbreaking conversations with my daughter about the killing of Daunte Wright. I'm curious how old her daughter is. I really hope that her daughter's near an adult, but I don't know. She doesn't understand why he's dead and why this keeps happening. Well, first of all, one of the reasons Daunte Wright is dead is because he chose to break away from being arrested and try to jump in his car and run off. Imagine had he just let them handcuff him and gone to jail on the warrants that he was wanted for, which was multiple warrants. Okay? Now, and I'm going to reemphasize the fact that he should not have been killed. I am fully fine with the idea that the officer made a mistake, had her weapon instead of her taser. The tasers they use in Brooklyn Park are also black. They don't have the yellow tasers that Maxine Waters put on Twitter. Their tasers are black and their guns are black, but in the heat of the moment, I can see how she may have made that mistake. But there would have been no mistake to be made had he not tried to run away from the police while he was being arrested. In the middle of an arrest, he resisted arrest and was fighting with the police. Wouldn't have happened. Anyway, I'm going to continue. She said, I've tried to hold my... And why this keeps happening, most of the time, it's like that. Now, it wasn't like that in the case of Philando Castile. There was also a man who... was killed in a limousine. But if you think of the times that it's not justified, that's even rarer. Or not justified. They're not questionable, I should say. Obviously, the case of George Floyd is at least questionable. The case of Daunte Wright is questionable but even though he fled, George Floyd resists arrest, and there's 9 minutes that questionable, but is any of the rest of it questionable? Which I don't even think it's questionable. I just think he made an error that he shouldn't have made. I'm talking about Derek Chauvin. But anyway, thank you, Thomas Cleaver, by the way, for the 420. You were looking for me at the beginning of the show. Well, yes, I was saying hello. I was trying to say hi because I wasn't. Now you got. See, I'm all paranoid because sometimes you give me a little bit of a crap when I don't see your name like the first time, and so I'm trying to make sure I see it the first time. Also, good morning, Alone, aka Always Lost and Nothing Else. Good morning. Thank you very much, sir. But for the very nice 420 on 420, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, yes, and if you're doing, it's 420 day, so we're asking that all donations or sponsor are $4.20. Okay, let me get back to this woman, this lieutenant governor of ours. So she doesn't understand why. Now this also makes me wonder how old the daughter is, because she says she doesn't understand why he's dead and why this keeps happening. I have tried to hold my daughter as well as the pain and grief of this moment. Pain and grief for who? I don't know. Thank you, Thomas Cleaver, donated $4.20. Sorry, Jaeger, taking your spot. Well, that's nice. Hi back, P-Dawg. Well, Thomas Cleaver, you're correct, and
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Congratulations, and thank you for the deuce. I appreciate it. Okay. She continues, we must never forget the reason there are protesters and law enforcement in our streets is because Dante Wright was killed by a police officer during a traffic stop. Kate Wright lost her son, Dante Wright Jr., lost her son. Dante Wright Jr., not yet 2 years old, lost his father. Dante Wright should be alive. Right. He should be alive sitting in jail awaiting a trial for the other 2 warrants that for whatever reason they let him go on his own recognizance and was or at least, no, he was on bond on one of them and was supposed to appear in court, which he failed to appear in court. So he might have been sitting in jail for a while. But yeah, he should be alive. Maybe. Depends on how far he escalated that with police. Did he have a gun in the car? Would he have shot the police in the car? Would he have run in the car, tried to run into somebody? Just curious. Thank you, sir. Green Hunter DeMighty. have some monies. Well, thank you very much on 420. As we're doing the 420 thing, I appreciate it. Oh, I need to update this. Here we go. There, Thomas Cleaver. Now you have your rightful spot as the superstar donor of the day. And thank you, Green. I know it's Green Thunder. Green Thunder DeMighty. What happened there? Anyway, all right. Thank you. Anyway, so. Yeah, Dante Wright should be alive. Again, there wouldn't have been an opportunity to shoot him had he just... Look, I know a lot of people hate when we say had he just complied, but this wasn't even a thing where it was questionable. He had warrant for his arrest and decided to fight and run. Okay, now this is this is what pisses me off. As a child advocate, well, first of all, Dante Wright was not a child. He was a 20-year-old man. As a child advocate, oh, you lost the T. Oh, I see. That's why I was confused. Green Hunter DeMighty. It used to be Green Thunder DeMighty. Hello, by the way. Welcome back to the show. As a child advocate, now I'm not sure what being a child advocate has to do with the rest of this sentence, but listen. As a child advocate, I'm grappling with the stark reality. This is the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota saying this. Minnesota is a place where it is not safe to be black. The Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota says Minnesota is a place where it's not safe to be black. This is the essence of an emergency we face. We must speak that truth in light of this past year. We must do what Minnesotans are capable of. Be bold in our thinking, be steadfast in our accountability to change from top to bottom. That means rethinking policing and rethinking crowd control when people express righteous and justifiable outrage that our state is not safe for black people. What the actual fuck are you talking about, woman? You're just adding to a moral panic that's unnecessary. I've never not felt safe in this state in my 32 years here because I'm black. What are you talking? And it's not. These are man bite dog incidents. You're just telling us that we should be afraid of police, which we should not. I'm embarrassed that you're my lieutenant governor. That you just said that. That is complete and utter bullshit, and it's disrespectful to the officers who do things right in this state. So, in the last year in Minnesota, including now it's over a year. So you have these 2 incidents, and there's 400,000 black people in Minnesota. Are you saying we're all unsafe here? Are you kidding me? That means rethinking policing and rethinking crowd control when people express righteous and justifiable outrage that our state's not safe for black people. Bullshit. And you're not helping. But now you're the lieutenant governor. You're making that true for some people who you're unnecessarily scaring people. These are such rare events. What are you talking about? We must also find the right balance between safety and that free expression, because surely we haven't gotten that right either. Really? You kind of let everyone just burn and loot and break shit all last summer. Just let them do it. So what exactly are you talking about? Oh, the protest in Brooklyn Center where they were throwing bricks and frozen water bottles at police? Well, I can understand why the police might want to react to that, but at least they did something smarter than they did in Portland when they made the second fence, made 2 fences so the police weren't near them, so they didn't have to react as much. What are you talking about, though? Look, the peaceful protest, has there been a single problem at a peaceful protest? At a peaceful protest in this state over the last year? Not one. Have you heard of anybody being shot or injured at the peaceful part of the peaceful protest? In fact, have you heard of one person in this state who was shot at the not peaceful part of these protests? Except for people killed by the people who are doing the not peaceful protesting, not by law enforcement, you haven't, because if they had been killed by law enforcement, their names would be on that say their name list. What the actual hell are you talking about? You're just expressing a narrative that is false and over-exaggerated. And it's over-exaggerated because the media loves these stories because they know it'll rile people up. Because last year, that guy you hated in office was in office. But now it's spilling over into Biden's America because this is no longer Trump's America. This is Joe Biden's America. And so every one of these incidents, which, oh my gosh, I thought Joe Biden was going to fix everything. Oh my gosh, Joe Biden, the president, really doesn't have much control over local shit, do they? Have you lost your damn mind? You are not helping with this type of statement. You think you are. Oh, you think you got your woke bona fides by putting out a statement like this. You're an idiot, and everyone responding to you saying, thank you for saying this finally. Thank you for saying are idiots too. She continues, what is abundantly clear is that this is our reputation. And this is our shame. Yeah, thank you, national media, for amplifying events that maybe didn't need to be amplified. And Twitter, fuck Twitter. God, I can't quit it though. I'm addicted. Anyway, the feelings are sharp and there's blame for all of us, but there's also an opportunity for action for the better. Hey, remember Dante Wright? Why is he dead? Why did he have a physical altercation with police that were he shouldn't be dead, but certainly this wasn't just someone gunning him down for no reason. Dante Wright should be alive. Dante Wright should be facing a judge about now. How was it that Dante Wright gotten into a situation where a police officer would have had to pull a taser out and pull the wrong weapon? How did that happen? How did that happen? And yes, the officer should be reprimanded, probably maybe have some negligent charges. I don't know. I don't even know if that's going to work. And then there'll be more fires and more broken windows. But how did he get into a situation where an officer felt like they needed to pull out a weapon of any sort? That wasn't the police's doing. Going forward, our moral imperative is to ensure that the sets of circumstances and conditions that led to the death of Dante Wright Sr. will be different for Dante Wright Jr. and every other child like him. Well, hey, I know how they could be different for Dante Wright Jr. Dante Wright Jr. could maybe not try to rob a woman at gunpoint for $800 and get caught. Dante Wright Jr. maybe could maybe not be out with a weapon after the judge said part of his conditions for parole was to not have any weapons. Dante Wright Jr., if those things do happen, when he does get arrested because he forgets to pay for his tabs on his vehicle, tags for those of you in other parts of the country, they call them tabs here for whatever reason. That always got me. I could never figure that out either. Maybe Dante Wright Jr. will pay his tabs at times so he doesn't get picked up and the police stop him, and then the police don't discover that he has a warrant for his arrest. Dante Wright Jr., if he does get stopped for bad tabs and they do discover that he has a warrant for his arrest, maybe Dante Wright Jr., rather than fighting the police and trying to jump in his car and drive off, just takes his lumps. Now, the other part is the officer's fault. She fucked up. But damn, the conditions are, I hate to say it, Dante Wright Sr. is an asshole. But may he rest in peace, and I'm sorry for his family. George Floyd called out to his mother. No, he didn't. He called out for his girlfriend. He called his girlfriend Mama. Did you watch the trial? Did you watch any of the trial, Lieutenant Governor? Did you watch any of the trial of Derek Chauvin? You would know that he wasn't calling out for his mother. He was calling out for his girlfriend, who he called Mama. Dante Wright called his mother. Yeah, when he was getting stopped, because he told her a lie that he was getting stopped for, or well, he thought he was getting stopped for air fresheners in his car. Well, we found out that wasn't true. Now we are called to act. Act on what? What are you going to do, Lieutenant Governor? Are you going to be misguided and see if we can restrict what law officers can do to protect themselves? Is that what we're going to do? Because I know they're floating the idea of, well, maybe officers couldn't carry guns. Maybe this and that. As a mom and child advocate, I know we cannot turn away. Reminder, Dante Wright was a 20-year-old adult. Because there's a lot of people still, he was just a teenager. He's 20 years old. He's an adult. And he had one felony and 2 misdemeanor arrests that he had warrants for. And that's unfortunate. And you know what? I got to tell you, the only reason that's relevant, I hate it when, the first thing to do, everyone tries to look up someone's past. It's the reason it's relevant in this case is that's why he was being arrested. He had warrants for that other shit. Otherwise, you know what? If this was a more questionable shooting, although a lot of people say she knew she had a gun, she just wanted to kill somebody. There's people actually saying that. I doubt it. A 27-year-old female member of a police force just was out looking for her brother to kill. I doubt it. And clearly from the video, the body cam, she realized immediately she made a mistake. Somebody even said that they were laughing when she said she shot him. No, they didn't. All 3 of them had the 2 that you can see had a shocked look on their faces, and she's, oh my God, I shot him. No, she knew she fucked up right then and there. But as a mom and a child advocate, it has nothing to do with what you just said here. What you said is stupid. Now, interesting, because there's an article here from BPR, Business and Politics. I don't even know what that is. Minnesota Lieutenant Governor declares her state a place where it's not safe to be black. Yeah, way to fire up the troops there, Lieutenant Governor. It seems to be a mad rush between Democratic officials and the media to foment civil unrest over a contrived, politically motivated narrative that black Americans are being hunted down in our streets, a false narrative that's not supported by the facts. With Minnesota currently ground zero, the nation is on edge as a verdict is expected this week in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. Adding to what can only be described as a tinderbox was last week's accidental shooting of a criminal suspect, Daunte Wright. Yes, he was a criminal suspect. Now, if you don't like hearing that, sorry, them's the facts. Does that mean he's the worst person in the world? No. Does that mean he deserved to die? No. But those are part of the facts in this case. That's why he was being arrested. He had warrants out for arrest and he was stopped for expired plates. Pretty routine until they realized, oh, he has a warrant for his arrest. We need to arrest him. Now, the other part is the police officers there were dumbasses. At least the new guy. Of course, he was a rookie being trained. But to try to have any kind of arrest of a suspect right next to the driver's seat door where he was just in the car with the door open, that was pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb. And then when you start fumbling with the handcuffs because you're not used to them, and I look, if he's new and he's being trained, that's fine. Should the trainer, aka the woman who shot Daunte Wright, and the supervisor who was standing on the other side of the vehicle should have said, okay, look, let's move him to the back of the car because then you're less likely to jump into the car where the door was open and the keys were still in it. These officers were incompetent, or at least for whatever reason in this situation, should have been routine. But that's why you don't do the business next to the car door. You move the person who's going to be arrested to the back of the car and shut the door of the driver's door so that it makes it more difficult for them to get in. You probably would have saved Daunte Wright's life had you done this procedurally in a better way. Anyway, what equates to throwing gasoline on a raging fire? Yes. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan posted a highly irresponsible statement on social media declaring that Minnesota is a place where it's not safe to be black. And they're all there. And for the record, Wright is dead because he resisted arrest while being arrested for an open warrant, breaking away from several officers, trying to get back into his vehicle. One of the officers reportedly grabbed her service weapon mistakenly for a taser. Those are facts. And if don't even try to dispute those facts. He was, and I have a small audience, so I'm probably not going to have someone come, well, he was shot because he was black. No, he wasn't. He was shot because he had a warrant for arrest, and he resisted arrest and jumped into a car. Now, there was some confusion about the outstanding warrant, given that there were two. A previous one for first-degree aggravated robbery where Wright allegedly choked and robbed a woman at gunpoint, and in a second warrant related to misdemeanor charges of illegally possessing a firearm and fleeing from a police officer. Police reportedly acting on the second warrant while Wright was due in court on the aggravated robbery charges this August, according to reviewed records. Now, the reason he had the second warrant, because someone said, oh, well, how can he be illegally possessing a firearm? Don't you support the Second Amendment? Yeah, I support the Second Amendment. The reason he was illegally possessing a firearm because the first judge, as a condition of his being released on parole, was that he not have any firearms in his possession between that time and the trial. That's the breaks. Now, you could say, well, you're innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. And thus, you still have Second Amendment rights? Maybe. But that was part of the conditions of your parole. But anyway, yet details like this are often ignored when violent criminal suspects are martyred by the left and in the push to establish a narrative that police are racist, as seen from Flanagan. You can read the rest of that, but that is such an irresponsible statement to be making, thinking, oh, she thinks she's getting woke points. Guess what? I don't think not the peaceful protesters, but the less than peaceful protesters, I'd venture to guess that they wouldn't hesitate to burn her house down too. Just saying. And you know, it's funny. I was on this site. There's a site called National Gun Violence Memorial, and I was just curious. So I went on this site and I looked up just Minnesota, and from here are all the people since the beginning of the year that have been killed. Now this is by gun violence, killed by gun violence, but starting in January, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now this is rare because most of the site, it's like 30-1 black faces, but this is Minnesota, which is a very low black population. But all these people since January, do we know any of these? Okay, let me see if you can recognize any of these names. Raekwon Rashad Martin, Bobby Evans, Charles Royston, Trayshawn DeRome, Daquan Derrick. Let's see. This is ambiguous. This guy's ambiguous. I'm only counting the clearly melanated people. David Marlin, Andre Spencer, LaPortia Wallace, LaCorby Wallace, Desandra Wallace. I don't like that. That's got to be a family. I don't like that. Pressy L.C. Taylor Jr., Victor Vic Pablo, Shazmo Muhammad Ged Abdi, Imez Wright. I know who Imez Wright is. Okay, here's Imez Wright. Any memorials for Imez Wright? Do you know who that is? You recognize that name? I do recognize that name. Here it is. This is in the, remember the George Floyd Autonomous Zone? Remember that? Oh, that's the Star Tribune. I can't read that article. Hang on. Let me see if I can get it. Here's KSDP's. One dead in shooting near George Floyd Memorial. One person dead and another hurt after a shooting Saturday night near George Floyd Square in South Minneapolis. Now, that's not an official place. That's a place that they did kind of like that autonomous zone in Seattle. According to Minneapolis spokesman John Elder, officers responded to ShotSpotter activation on 38th and Street and East and Chicago Avenue South. Police also received a report that 2 people had been shot and were being carried to the barricades at the edge of the autonomous zone. Gee, this is the one where they wouldn't let the officers or the ambulance drivers in because they wouldn't let police clear the scene. By the time the officers got to the scene, the victims had already been taken to the hospital. Elders said the responding officers were met with interference upon arrival. Police were told the victim had gone to Hennepin County Medical Center and later died. Elders said the deceased victim is believed to be a man in his 30s. Well, his name was Imez Wright. And Imez Wright, actually was a mentor working with black youths, trying to show them the right way in life. And I Met His Right is Dead. Has anybody heard his name since March 6th? In the last month, has anyone heard anyone say his name? I Met His Right. That's because not all Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Hashtag not all. Because he wasn't shot the right way. What happened here? Moving on. By the way, I was going to mention this at the beginning of the show. Former Vice President Walter Mondale died yesterday, age 93. Regardless of what you think of the presidency of James Earl Carter and Mondale's later subsequent presidential runs, he was a nice guy. He was a Democrat from Minnesota. And I put that tab in the wrong order. So rest in peace, Walter Mondale. He was a good dude. Glad he was never president though. Good God. I'm just getting some odds and ends as we finish the show today. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. Good morning, Richo. Good morning, Check Your Logic. Hello. I saw somebody else pop in. Stoopy. I said hi, I think already. Maybe I didn't. Hi there. The Asian Research Directorate. And I didn't catch everybody. But here's another one. Now, this is interesting. The American Humanist Association Board statement. Apparently, they're withdrawing an honor from Richard Dawkins. Now, Richard Dawkins, I don't know how to describe Richard. He's just a thinking guy and well-known atheist and humanist, I guess. Well, established in 1953, and he apparently recently or some time ago got the Humanist of the Year award. And the Humanist Association, the American Humanist Association, is withdrawing their award. Established in 1953, the Humanist of the Year award is conferred annually by the American Humanist Association, and recognizing the awardees as an exemplar of humanist values. Communication of scientific concepts to the public is an important aspect of advancing the cause of humanism. Richard Dawkins was honored in 1996 by the AHA as a Humanist of the Year for his significant contributions in this area. Now, mind you, 1996, he won the Humanist of the Year. Listen to this. Regrettably, Mr. Dawkins has, over the past several years, accumulated a history of making statements that use the guise of scientific discourse to demean marginalized groups. An approach antithetical to humanist values. His latest statement implies that the identities of transgender individuals are fraudulent, while also simultaneously attacking Black identity as one that can be assumed when convenient. His subsequent attempts at clarification are inadequate and convey neither sensitivity nor sincerity. Consequently, the AHA board has concluded that Richard Dawkins is no longer deserving of being honored by the AHA and has voted to withdraw effectively immediately the 1996 Humanist of the Year award. Dick Dawkins is a jackass, learned jackass. He's a jackass, but I'm finding this fascinating. This is fascinating. He won the award in 1996. And I got to tell you, the bread tube folks, and I'm friendly with some bread tube folks. or even bread tube adjacent folks. And they're nice people. I just think they're wrong about everything. But anyway, they're all over his nut too. They are just all over him because he doesn't, well, his scientific mind seems to have certain scientific ideas about some of the, how do I say this delicately without getting yeeted? Not just some of the nonsense, okay? Some of it is nonsense. Some of it is just attention-seeking behavior. Some of it's real, some of it's not. And he doesn't want to put up with it. And it's funny because he says, they say attacking black identity as one that can be assumed when convenient. Shocking. Whatever could they mean? Sean King. Rachel Nolasol. Anyway, thank you, Chicago Bike, for the $4.99. Hi, P-Dawg. Working today. Walter Mondale passed away. I think your state was the only state that knew about it. 1984 election reference. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's a really good video on YouTube where in the 1980 election, when Carter lost badly to Ronald Reagan, and it was like 400 something electoral votes to 49. And when they announced it in the Senate, they announced both the president and the vice president separately, at least they used to. And so Walter Mondale and Tip O'Neill were at the podium, and it's the vice president's job to announce the electoral college votes. And he's saying something like, the vice president, George Herbert Walker Bush, 400 and whatever electoral votes, and Walter Mondale 49, and the whole Senate stands up and claps for him getting 49 votes. And he and Tip O'Neill up there laughing, and he's like, oh yeah, kind of a landslide. And it was just, you know what? It was endearing, even though I would have never, I'm so glad he was never president, but he's a good guy. And it was just funny how he was kind of, self-effacing there. So it was pretty funny. All right. So anyway, yeah, they rescinded an award from 25 years ago. Exactly. Lord Stanhope. It's like, how do you, now if he had won it 2 years ago and turned on them or something, I could see maybe. But this is a 25-year-old award. I bet anything he was saying 25 years ago had nothing to do with transgender stuff, because transgender was barely a thing then. Yeah, there's, it was transsexual. All right, let's move on. Let's see, what else do I have here? Because I got to get out of here. Oh, here's another thing. So this relates more back to what our lieutenant governor said. So apparently there's a poll. More than 1/3 of liberals believe that 1,000+ Black Americans were killed by police. Unarmed Black Americans, by the way. And this is where we're getting. So, National Commission survey asked respondents for an estimation of how many unarmed black men were killed by police in 2019. 44% of liberals said it was 1,000 or more. In reality, the actual number was no more than 27. The survey, commissioned by Skeptic Mag, asked respondents if you had to guess how many unarmed black men were killed by police in 2019. Among those identified as very liberal, a majority, about 53% of them, estimated that the number of unarmed blacks killed by police in 2019 was 1,000 or more, with about 22% putting their number at 10,000. 22% of the respondents believe 10,000 black people, unarmed, 10,000 unarmed black people were killed in 2019. Of all of them, it's about 1,000 a year. I mean, of all police shootings, including every race, everybody, total, between 1,000 and 1,500 a year. They believe 10,000 or more were killed in 2019. Approximately 25% of declared moderates and 9% of conservatives and 13% of very conservative Americans estimated about 1,000. And why do you think they think that? Because the Dawg Bite Man events are the only ones that get publicized. Those numbers are especially galling given the left's claims to science, data, and reason. In reality, it appears they are far more prone to wild conspiracy theories than the political right. According to the Washington Post's own database, the actual number of unarmed black men fatally shot in 2019 by police was 13. According to Mapping Police Violence Database, which has put together by both data scientists and activists, 27. So somewhere between 13 and 27 is the actual number of unarmed black men that were killed by police. Now, the other part of that too is when they say unarmed, they mean without a weapon, but sometimes police would shoot at people who are driving them in cars. That's considered unarmed. The vehicle is not considered being armed. So it's not that they weren't a threat, just unarmed. And when asked further for an estimation of what percentage of people killed in 2019 by police officers were black, the average liberal respondent believed a clear majority were black. In reality, the number was roughly a quarter, 23%. And then they'll say, oh, well, that's disproportionate. Well, disproportionate to population, maybe not disproportionate to police encounters, not disproportionate to crime. And I'm not going to say that 1350. That's stupid. It's more like 1%. Or anyway. The often wild conspiracy theories emanating from the political left are egged on by the corporate media, are rarely subject to fact checks or social media trends, though they appear to occur far more frequently anyway. So that's crazy. And then the other articles I had up, I'm not going to get to. Minneapolis police seek to ensure the city will burn by crippling a police response. They're not going to allow dispersal type of gases, tear gas, or whatever they use. They're not going to allow less than lethal force after this, when the city starts to burn after this trial, because it's going to, no matter what the verdict is. The Minneapolis City Council, in an unbelievable move, given the powder keg on their doorstep, voted 11-1 to oppose the use of tear gas and other non-lethal munitions in response to civil disorder. It would be fair to wonder if someone dropped these 11 elected leaders on their heads. And as children, in the last 40 hours, we've had the sitting member of Congress, Representative Maxine Waters, inciting violence. If former officer Derek Chauvin is convicted of murder, and 2 National Guardsmen injured in a drive-by shooting. I don't know if you heard about that, but yes, there was a drive-by shooting at officers right after Maxine Waters said what she said. The Chauvin trial is in closing arguments, and the jury is expected to begin deliberating with the threat of mob justice over their heads. Luckily, this vote is to some extent worthless virtue signaling. Mayor Jacob Frey controls the Minneapolis Police Department, which he completely demoralized and ruined during the last summer's riot. Hopefully, he will ignore the insane members of the city council. Governor Tim Walz has activated 3,000 members of the Minnesota National Guard in advance of the verdict, which is a significant improvement over his lag in doing so last year. The council members don't see it that way. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison's son, Councilman Jeremiah Ellison, voted to oppose Walz's move, the National Guard. Councilmember Jeremiah Ellison accused Governor Tim Walz and law enforcement of approving indiscriminate assaults, gassing, and arrest of protesters in the name of protecting property. No. Not protesters. Not protesters. Especially our governor. He's a left-wing hack. Not our governor. What he is saying is that property doesn't need to be destroyed. You can protest in the streets without destroying things and burning things and killing people. Because last year we had many people die in the Twin Cities during the riot portion of the protest. We had peaceful protests, and then we had riots and destruction, looting, and burning. and murder. His perspective is no surprise since the younger Ellison openly tweeted his support for Antifa last summer. He was challenging the idea that Antifa was involved in the destruction that took place. Well, which is it? It was either the peaceful protesters or some of your Antifa. I think it's a combination. City Council President Lisa Bender described the vote as a statement of the values of the City Council. You may remember Bender from her insane segment on CNN where she was explaining how Minneapolis would defund the police and reimagine public safety. Yeah, that you can watch that one. She's a charmer. So anyway, and there's a lot of Minneapolis police who are just saying fuck it and leaving. Also in the tabs, it's an article on how elected officials and the cops are afraid of BLM and their anti-race cartels. About the councilwoman in Brooklyn Center, the reason they fired the city manager so fast is the council had an emergency meeting after he said that the officer would get due process, and people were complaining that, well, they think they should just draw and quarter her immediately in the streets. But anyway, the city council voted to fire the city manager for saying that they were going to give him due process. And the reason that she gave in an interview was they were afraid of the reaction. I think it's in here somewhere. Here it is. Brooklyn Center Council member Chris Lawrence Anderson, who voted to fire Bogany, that's the black city manager. They fired a black man. Racists, explained that her decision was to do so is based on fear of retaliation from Black Lives Matter radicals who are wreaking havoc on the city. At a virtual council workshop, Councilmember Chris Lawrence Anderson said she voted to remove the city manager because she feared for her property and retaliation by protesters if she had voted to keep them. Wait a minute! I thought these were peaceful protesters. Huh. She continues, he was doing a great job. I respect him dearly, she said. I just didn't want repercussions at the personal level. Yeah, because they were doxing all the city council members. They found the officer's house and were protesting in her house. She doesn't even live in Brooklyn Center. They found her, I think she lives out in Washington County. They were protesting the officer's house. They released the officer's house. There will be repercussions because we allow it. All right, last couple tabs. A Virginia Tech soccer player was forced off the team for not kneeling, according to a lawsuit. Former soccer player Kirsten Hennig has filed a lawsuit alleging that the Virginia Tech coach mistreated her after she refused to kneel with the rest of her team during a pledge of support for Black Lives Matter, the Richmond Times-Dispatch reported Monday. Holy shit, is our world upside down. Henning's stance was costly, too costly. Her coach dislikes Henning political views because she refused to kneel. He benched her, subjected her to repeated verbal abuse, and forced her off the team, the lawsuit stated, according to the Richmond Times-Dispatch. The lawsuit aims to have Coach Chugger Adair complete First Amendment training. Oh my God, that's hilarious. The lawsuit aims to have Coach Chugger Adair complete First Amendment training and have Henning return to the team. The suit also included an undisclosed amount of monetary compensation for Henning. You know what? I wouldn't even want to go back to play for that coach. That coach is never going to play her again anyway. The 21-year-old Henning joined the Virginia Tech soccer team in 2018 as a starting freshman. She started her freshman year. In the first game of the 2020 season, Henning and one other player stood during the Atlantic Coast Conference Unity Pledge, while the rest of the team knelt as a sign of support for Black Lives Matter. The lawsuit claimed that during the opening game, Coach Adair berated Henning for her stance. He singled her out and verbally attacked her, pointing a finger directly in her face. He denounced Henning for bitching and moaning, for being selfish and individualistic, and for doing her own thing. You can read the rest of that one later. That's, oh my God, FTG to that coach. And then there's two other ones here that I'm gonna have to skip through. Oh, science. White liberals are more likely to have mental health problems. That's science, people. White liberals are significantly more likely than other racial and ideological groups to be diagnosed with a mental health condition, according to science. The findings from a Pew Research Center survey published in March 2020, where the subject was subject of a recent Twitter thread that inspired an EV magazine article on the possible scientific correlation between progressive ideas and mental illness. See, Rush Limbaugh was right. Liberalism is a mental disorder. You can read the rest of that one later. Let's see, what are the other ones I got up here? I got to go, so I got to go through these quick. Oh, 10 politically correct and factually false words and phrases to stop using immediately. This is some advice. You can check this out. Some of the words include mainstream media, gender when you mean sex, sex reassignment surgery. Stop using that. Democracy when you mean a republic. Abortion doctors and abortion clinics. Anti-discrimination. Huh. Jesus, that means legal preferences. Undocumented immigrant. Equity or equality when you mean the other. Yeah, stop using the word equity. Equity. If you see the word equity, run the other way. Cisgender. That word's not even being used correctly. Did you know that? And pro-choice. Well, look. The two sides of that likes to call the other one, call yourself pro, so pro-choice, and where the other side will call you pro-abortion. And the other one is anti-abortion, which other people would call pro-life, because everyone wants to be called pro, not anti. But yeah, there you go. You can read that article. It gives you more details than that. Also, this one is an American Creed, 163 words to remind us what it means to be an unkempt citizen. And this is how we're going to finish the show today. What's the one I'm skipping? I'm skipping the other one. Oh, that Walter Mondale died. So here's the Creed. Here's 163 words to remind us what it means to be an unkept citizen. Hang on a second here. And this is let's see, who is this? It's called The American's Creed. I do not choose to be a common man. It is my right to be uncommon. I seek to develop whatever talents God gave me and not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to barter incentive for a dole. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will not trade freedom for beneficence, nor my dignity for a handout. I will never cower before any earthly master, nor bend to any threat. It is my heritage to stand erect, proud, and unafraid, to think and act for myself, enjoy the benefits of my creation, and to face the world boldly and say, this, with God's help, I have done. All this is what it means to be an American. And on that note, it's time for me to go, guys. In fact, I'm late. So thanks for dropping in today. Please, before you do anything else, hit the like button and even better, share the stream. Hit the share arrow and share it out somewhere. Somebody else will watch it eventually. And thank you, everyone who supports the show through sharing and liking and also through donations. Thank you for the 420 squad today. Ride Deos, Jaeger Pony, Thomas Cleaver, Green Hunter, DeMighty, and Chicago Mike. Thank you guys. I gotta go. Everything else is down there. Watch in about a minute and a half. I will have all these links and tabs in one link in the description down below. I'll announce it in the chat when I have that accomplished. Thanks everybody for being here, but I do gotta go. My name is, check out the merch store. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.